Chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
He's number one right now. He's number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather announced that he will return in 2026. He mentioned his first fight this year would be an exhibition against Mike Tyson, clarifying it would only be a practice match. What drew attention was his statement about preparing for a possible professional fight with Terence Crawford. Regarding an official bout, Mayweather said negotiations are ongoing and his team is working hard to make it happen.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Floyd Mayweather's name is always the first to surface when boxers discuss dream fights. Despite being retired, he remains a major figure in the sport, sparking constant debates about whether he could beat today's champions. Recently, Robert Garcia gave a blunt take on the idea of Mayweather facing Terence Crawford. He noted that while Mayweather had one of the most successful careers ever, he never became an undisputed champion like Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Still, Garcia admitted he would pick Mayweather to win in a fantasy matchup, citing his respect for Floyd's skill and aura.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 division, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, fuck, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already...
Robert Garcia didn't hesitate to highlight what set Crawford apart. Crawford achieved something Mayweather never did, uniting all the belts in one division. Manny Pacquiao also built his legacy by excelling across multiple weight classes. Garcia pointed out that this is the one piece missing from Floyd's record. While Mayweather defeated every opponent, stayed unbeaten, and secured legendary wins, he never became undisputed. For Garcia, that doesn't lessen Floyd's greatness, but it does show Crawford's completeness as a fighter. Still, Garcia leaned on his own experience to explain why he'd favor Floyd, citing Mayweather's superior defense, balance, and ring intelligence.
Pick Mayweather, both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Adela Ladipo explained that Floyd Mayweather exists in 2 equally iconic forms. There was Pretty Boy Floyd, the fearless young fighter who overwhelmed opponents with speed, aggression, and sharp combinations. Then came Money Mayweather, the defensive mastermind and pay-per-view king who built boxing's biggest empire as both a fighter and a businessman. Adela called Floyd a genius for crafting not just his style but also his image, giving each its own identity. Pretty Boy Floyd won fans with risk-taking and powerful shots, while Money Mayweather captivated audiences with mind games, technical brilliance, and the ability to turn bouts into global events. Few can match Floyd's impact, both in the ring and in shaping boxing's modern business model.
He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, all right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion, multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fights, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was like, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit.
Zab Judah had no trouble naming Terence Crawford as the king of this generation. Having shared the ring with Floyd before, he emphasized that every era has its star, and right now, that star is Crawford. He recalled how Canelo Alvarez once suggested Crawford might be better than Floyd, noting that such words shouldn't be taken lightly. For Judah, Crawford has already proven himself by dominating elite opponents across multiple weight classes. His complete style has yet to be solved. In making this point, Judah honored Floyd's legacy while making it clear that Crawford rules the present. He acknowledged that comparisons across eras are natural but insisted Crawford deserves recognition as the best fighter of today.
In his timeline, he is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage early.
Yeah. I think
so too. Yeah.
Breadman Edwards dismissed the idea of Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford, offering a different perspective. He argued that the matchup feels forced and unnecessary, as Crawford deserves to enjoy his current success without constant comparisons to past legends. Edwards suggested that if Floyd truly wanted a major spectacle, a fight with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense due to the star power and fan interest it would generate. He emphasized that Crawford is at the peak of his career and should be celebrated for what he's accomplishing now, rather than dragged into fantasy debates. According to Edwards, pitting him against Floyd not only overshadows Bud's moment but also diminishes the significance of his achievements. He stressed that boxing should stop chasing impossible matchups and instead allow Crawford to stand as the icon of greatness in his own era.
Fight, unfortunately, just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win, but if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man, I don't know? Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, and they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, and make up something just to. I got my opinion on, how the fights would go, and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. Unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made, they kind of two different eras though, even though they was fighting at the same time. Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So It didn't happen, and we gotta just.
Sean Porter reacted to the surprising news of Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson possibly fighting, saying it might resemble a street fight more than a real boxing match. He pointed out that Floyd and Mike have held a long-standing grudge, and their anger could make the fight personal, going beyond tactics and skill. Because of this, Porter doubted that boxing authorities would ever sanction such a bout. While he admitted the spectacle would grab attention, he warned it could also bring outcomes the sport doesn't want. Porter believes the fight won't happen in a real ring, as the risk of chaos outweighs the hype. Many experts also criticize the growing trend of exhibition fights involving stars like Floyd, Tyson, and Jake Paul, arguing that these events focus more on star power than true competition.
Unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? Obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
You falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So
many fans said they didn't even enjoy Jake Paul's fights and questioned why boxing continues to lean on old legends instead of building up today's stars. To them, it reflects weakness in the current generation, as fighters struggle to earn mainstream respect on their own. Analysts warn that if this trend continues, boxing risks becoming too focused on nostalgia and losing its connection to real competition.
I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta is a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that now. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not to engage with him. But Jake not engaging with him just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight, because clearly Mike is not the same. And clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually...
Joe Rogan shared his perspective on the personal dynamic between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. He said Floyd has disliked Mike from the very beginning, and if they ever fought, that tension could surface in the ring. Rogan suggested Floyd's usual defensive style might not be what fans expect, hinting that he could even chase a knockout to settle the score. While Mayweather was never known for seeking knockouts late in his career, Rogan emphasized that grudges can change a fighter's approach. What makes the scenario intriguing, though still unlikely, is the possibility of Floyd abandoning his trademark caution to make a statement against Tyson.
No, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes.
But they like
Mike
money.
Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd. They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no
fighting.
disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah. Working.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements if there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah, if there was a moment to really, could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still at 50 years old.
Yeah.
He's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins
49.
was still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he
Kentucky's
was
got-
active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's
You're
got
talking about
Gomez
retired
on the
guys.
ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting the
that's
exhibition.
It's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not
entertainment.
going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis. You know?
There's a reason it
If I
says
had to
exhibition.
guess,
Huh.
If I had to guess. Yeah. The
Jake's-
event itself would be a world-class venue, be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What
it.
does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course.
Of course.
Because they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do
Yeah.
you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who
And
wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani wrapped up with a practical take, saying the Floyd versus Mike fight is unlikely to happen in any official capacity. He explained that most insiders view it as nothing more than entertainment for fun and money. Helwani added that many also see it as a potential warm-up for Floyd's next real fight, possibly against Terence Crawford in a professional setting. By calling the Tyson matchup a sideshow, he shifted attention to the bigger picture, Mayweather's potential return to official competition. In his view, the exhibition is simply a way to spark buzz while negotiations for a Crawford fight continue.
A lot longer now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's interest in that.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
the White House card seems to be happening. I got to eat my crow on that one. It's
Yeah.
tough. Tyson Floyd,
no chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early
Jake Paul-
50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't do
Against
it
the
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though. Don't
Yeah,
get me
Roy fought at heavyweight at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were
Yeah.
still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic. It was
Yep.
Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean? What's the
Two of
big
the
names.
greatest boxers ever to fight
Yeah.
each other.
Just I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same vast reach that
That was a
Jake
big
Paul.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you next time.